Some time ago, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Bishop David Oyedepo, Bishop Wale Oke, and Apostle Johnson Suleiman were desiring and admiring the way and manner their father in the Lord, Archbishop Benson Idahosa, was exercising the kingdom power and authority. Now, all of these great men of God of our time have successfully occupied the vacuum Archbishop Benson Idahosa left behind. Some time ago, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, and some great men of God were longing to do what their fathers in the Lord were doing, and to even do more than they. And now, they have done far, far more than their father in the Lord. They have successfully filled in the vacuum of their fathers in the Lord and making generational impact than their fathers in the Lord. In the secular world, some time ago, Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, Jimoh Ibrahim, Mike Adenuga were looking at the richest man in Nigeria, Chief MKO Abiola, Dan Tata, and Igbinedo. Now, all of them have assumed the billionaire position and filling their vacuums. Beloved, you cannot talk about the richest man in Nigeria and fail to mention Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, Jimoh Ibrahim, and Mike Adenuga. In sports, football specifically, some time ago, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo were admiring late Maradona, Roberto Baggio, Romario as the greatest legend in football. Now, they have successfully filled in their vacuums. They are filling the vacuum they left behind. More so, in Bible days, Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, was looking at his master as a miracle worker. And when his father Moses was no more, he filled his vacuum. He filled the vacuum his father left behind. Joshua chapter 1. More so, Prophet Elisha filled in the vacuum his master Prophet Elijah left behind. Elisha filled the vacuum Prophet Elijah left behind. He became one of the greatest prophets in the land of Israel. Now, brethren, the difference between these great men is time. Every one of them became a legend at different times. Now, brethren, we are deliberating today on how you could fill in the vacuum of the legend. We are talking on how you could move from nobody to somebody. How you could be named among great legends in the society. And the topic we are discussing is what I title Filling the Vacuum of Great Legend. Filling the vacuums of great legend. Filling the vacuum of the great legend. We are to consider 5 points under the topic. The first point is servanthood. 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 Beloved, nearly everyone who fill in the vacuums of great legend in the time past happened to serve under the legend. Trained under the legend. Raised by the legend. Taught by the legend. Faithful to the legend. Submissive to the legend. Loyal to the legend. Committed to the legend. Answerable to the legend. Adopt the principle and custom of the legend. And love the legend. For you to break away from the crowd, you may have to serve under the legend. Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, served under the founder of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Evangelist Ekundayomi. He served as an interpreter under the legend before he could be successfully filling the vacuum of the legend. He served before he could fill in the vacuum of the legend. Pastor Tunde Bakare, General Overseer of Latter Rain Assembly, was once served and taught how to swim in Deeper Life Bible Church and in the Redeemed Christian Church of God before he could soar higher in the ministry. The experience he had added more colorful to his ministerial assignment. The great people he served under made him to fly like an eagle and match up to the legend in the society. Only the dead seems not to know him. Beloved, if you serve the legend faithfully, it is expected of you to be served. It is expected of you to fill in the vacuum of the legend. Whoever you serve will determine the vacuum of who you will fill. You cannot serve a prophet and fill in the vacuum of a carpenter. It is not possible. Point number 2. Is encountered. Several people had soared higher and fill in the vacuum of great legend through encounter with God and men that are matter in the societies. When I say men that are matter, I mean people that are relevant in the society. Of course, I believe that you know that not all men are relevant most of the time to your upliftment in life. Not all men are relevant most of the time to your upliftment in life. I mean, men who are in command of one thing or the other. I mean, people who either control the economic or political power. I mean, having an encounter with men of authority. Encounter with men. Quite a lot of people got to meet with men and their life was transformed. Beloved, I believe that you know that all men, I believe you know that not all men are men. I am talking of men who are blessing to other men. I am not talking about financial blessing alone, because when I talk about blessing, many people smile for some financial blessing. This generation seems to have more value for financial blessing than any other. May God help us. Mike Adenuga, the chief executive of Glo Network, had an encounter with the president of Nigeria, General Gbadamosi Ibrahim Babangida, and he was blessed. I believe that he had came across many people who never see reason to bless him. Some are blessed, but their life are not a blessing to others. But his encounter with Mr. President marked the turning point of his life. He was able to climb the ladder of success and measure up to the level of great men. He was able to measure up to the level of great men that have left behind in the society. Now, his life became channels of blessing to several people just because of the encounter. In 1 Kings chapter 17, 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 9 to 10. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 9 to 10. Widow of Zarephath had an encounter with prophet Elijah, and her memory never forgot him for many generations. She was blessed and sustained when there was lack and famine in the land of Samaria, just because she had an encounter with a man of God. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 9. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 9 says, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Sidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. In Luke chapter 4, verse 25 to 26. Luke chapter 4, verse 25 to 26. Jesus Christ says, many widows were in the land of Israel, but only the widow of Zarephath, prophet Elijah, had encounter with. The encounter she had made her name be named among people that are matter. Her memory echo to eternity. Bishop Wale Oke. Bishop Wale Oke's encounter with Archbishop Benson Idahosa made him to stood up and began to walk and fly in the ministry. There are some people, when you meet them, if you happen to be crawling, you will start to walk. If you are walking, you will start to fly. His destiny in the ministry was blessed just because he encountered Archbishop Benson Idahosa. And you can't talk of great men of God who had filled up the vacuum of heroes of faith in Nigeria without mentioning Bishop Wale Oke's name. Encounter with God in Genesis chapter 32. Genesis chapter 32, Jacob's encounter with God gave him a new name and a nation called Israel. Encounter made him to soar higher. Encounter made his name to be named among the nations on earth. Genesis chapter 32. Genesis chapter 32, verse 26 to 28. Genesis chapter 32, verse 26 to 28 says, "And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is the name? It is thy name. And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince, as a prince, thou as men, fought with God, amen, and prevail." Here, Jacob was renamed to Israel, and that brought turning point to his life. The third point is relationship. Several people in the time past were able to fill in the vacuum heroes left behind just because they were related. They stepped into the same shoe of great heroes because they were their husband and wife. They were of the same family. For instance, Margaret Idahosa, the wife of Archbishop Benson Idahosa, the founder of Church of God Mission International, were able to fill in the vacuum her husband left behind as a general overseer because he was her husband. She occupied her husband's position because she was up and doing and partner with her husband. She was supporting her husband in the ministry during his lifetime. Beloved, you will also agree with me that those who aspire to fill in the vacuum of a monarch must be related to him. You must be of the lineage of the king for you to fill in the vacuum of a king. For you to fill in the vacuum kings left behind, you must be of the lineage of the king. Of course, you will agree with me that there is no way King Solomon could have become a king in the land of Israel if he has not been the son of King David. Of course, he can't dream to become one if he has not shared the same blood with King David. So, he could fill in the vacuum of his father, King David, because he was his son. Beloved, you don't pray to become a king if you are not related to a kingship family. If you do, that will be a wishful prayer. And of course, only God will determine what to do with your prayer. Point number 4, mentorship. Beloved, another way through which you could successfully fill in the vacuum of legend in the society is through mentorship. Taking advices that are profitable from a trusted advisor could help in filling the vacuum of notable men and women in the societies. For instance, Esther filling the vacuum of Queen Vashti. Esther chapter 2, verse 8 to 10. Esther chapter 2, verse 8 to 10 says, "So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan, the palace, to the custody of Hegai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Hegai, keepers of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which are given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maid unto the best place of the house of the woman. Esther had not chosen her people, not her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not choose it. Here Mordecai was the advisor to Esther, who eventually became queen instead of Vashti. She filled in the vacuum of Queen Vashti because she strictly followed the advice Mordecai, her uncle, gave her not to make her identity known. Esther had no father, and no mother. They were dead long ago. The only person the Bible tells of that she had was her uncle called Mordecai, who eventually became her advisor and brought her up. Esther chapter 2 verse 6 to 7. Now I believe maybe Mordecai called Esther and said, I know that you are beautiful. You are fair and beautiful. That any other woman out there, you are fair and beautiful than any other woman out there. You are beautiful enough to fill in the vacuum of Queen Vashti in the palace. But don't tell anyone for now that you don't have a father and mother. Don't tell anyone now that you are a daughter carried as captive from Jerusalem. Don't discuss that now. Don't disclose to them that you have no father and mother. If you do, you are out of the race. Forget about the dream of filling the vacuum of Queen Vashti in the palace. Esther, the favor you receive from Hagar, the keepers of women, is because you never disclose your identity. If you do, it will not have bothered to prepare you to meet the king. He will not have been bothered himself preparing you to meet with the king. How could a slave become a queen of King Ahasuerus? Beloved, even though you are qualified to fill in the vacuum of great men and women in the society, you still need a trusted advisor that will advise you in one way or the other. You still need an advisor that will advise you in one way or the other. Your qualification is not as important as getting a trusted advisor. Beloved, young men and women have done more than enough to fill in the vacuum of great men and women in the past, in politics, industry, finance, education, economic, and as well as clergy work, but they lack trusted advisor. They lack trusted advisor who will not envy what they will become tomorrow, who will not envy what their tomorrow could be. Point number 5. Preparation. In Esther chapter 2 verse 12, it takes 12 months to prepare for a day visitation with a King Ahasuerus. Women are prepared for a good 12 months for a single day with a king that will determine whether they have all what it takes to fill in the vacuum of queen in the palace. Esther chapter 2 verse 12. Esther chapter 2 verse 12 says, Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, After that, she had been 12 months according to the manner of the women. For so were the days of their purification accomplished, to wit 6 months with oil of male, and 6 months with sweet odour, and with other things for the purification of women. For purification of the women. Here, whether you are beautiful or not, you are still subject to preparation. You are subjected to preparation. Your qualification and your identities never exempt you from preparation process. Qualification is a part, while preparation is also a part. You are qualified to be a president of your country, but how prepared are you to get there? How prepared are you to fill in the vacuum of president? In Matthew chapter 25, verse 1 to 13, it takes a lifetime for virgin to prepare for a lifetime with a bridegroom. All of the 10 virgins are qualified because they were all virgins. No defilement found in them, but 5 were prepared and 5 were not. The Bible called those who were prepared wise, and those who were not prepared foolish. Now, brethren, to fill in the vacuum that God has reserved for you in heaven requires that you prepare. It requires a lifetime preparation. I pray all of us will fill in the vacuums God has reserved for us in heaven. In Jesus' name. God bless you.